Good afternoon, everybody. Hope everyone's had a good day today. Unfortunately, we did not get to play Curse of Strahd last night, so I figured I'd come on and carry on with the Festival of Blades game that I've been playing. We're now on episode 4, and I've already got a recap set up. And right now, the music we're listening to is a D&D music copyright free playlist from Alexander Nakarada. So hopefully we won't get copyright dinged anymore. But let's see. Yeah, I'm using ChatGPT 4.0 to run this Dungeon Master. And here's a summary of episode 3.
Here's a summary of Festival of the Blades, Episode 3. After defeating Sir Garrus in the previous round, Simon took time to rest and celebrate, feeling a strange sense of being watched after calling out the name Valharan during the fight. That night, he experienced a haunting dream, the first sign that something ancient had taken notice of him. The next morning, the festival grounds buzzed with excitement. Simon was matched against a new challenger, Lady Kaelin of the Crimson Veil, a deadly fencer with a reputation for her speed and precision. The duel was fast paced and brutal. Simon took several hits early on, but managed to turn the tide using a well timed shield spell and his Eldritch Knight abilities. He scored a narrow victory, earning another 100 gold pieces and gaining increased attention from the crowd and the strange presence watching him. After the match, an old man approached Simon in private, offering him a silver token etched with the symbol of a three-eyed raven. He said only, "When the moon bleeds, you will be called." Then he vanished into the crowd. The episode ended with Simon holding the token, the cheers of the crowd fading behind him, and that unsettling feeling returning. Something ancient is watching, waiting. Let me know if you'd like a dream sequence, a deeper look into Lady Kaelin's style, or what might happen in episode 4.
Let's start episode 4 now and give me some options of what Simon can do. Okay.
Perfect. Let's begin Festival of the Blades, episode 4. Morning breaks over the city of Verillion. You're back in your room at the Rose and Raven Inn, the wooden beams creaking softly overhead. Sunlight filters through the red curtains, catching motes of dust in the air. The silver token rests on your nightstand, its three-eyed raven symbol pulsing faintly with a dim, unnatural glow, like it's breathing. A knock at your door breaks the quiet. What would you like to do? Here are some starting options, but you're free to do anything. 1. Answer the door. A simple knock could mean anything. Is it a festival runner? A rival? Someone who knows about the token? 2. Explore the city. You've got some gold in your pouch and time before your next match. You could visit the armorer for upgrades or enchantments, drop in at the Black Feather Apothecary for potions, search for more information about Valharan or the Three-Eyed Raven, visit the Temple of the Six Flames, a place of ancient relics and possibly answers. 3. Examine the token, that three-eyed raven symbol. It hums with energy. You could cast Identify if you have it, or visit someone who does. Focus on it and try to reach out mentally or magically. Ask around about the symbol's meaning. 4. Train for the next match. With each round, the opponents grow deadlier. You could spar with another fighter at the practice yard, visit a scribe for strategic intel on your next opponent, review and adjust your spells or tactics. What's your move, Simon? Or do you want to mix and match options?
First, Simon will answer the door.
Simon opens the door. The wood creaks softly as you pull it open. Standing just outside is a young boy, no more than 10, wearing a tattered messenger's sash that hangs loosely off one shoulder. He's out of breath, cheeks flushed from running. He holds out a small folded parchment sealed with red wax, stamped with the same three-eyed raven symbol as your token. Message for you, sir, he says, staring a little too long at your horns before catching himself and looking down. Was told not to wait for a reply. He bolts down the hallway and disappears down the stairs before you can even tip him. The letter. The parchment smells faintly of ash and something floral. You crack the seal. The writing is in dark ink, fast and angular. Valharan awakens. The veil grows thin. If you would know truth, meet me by the mirror pool at sundown. Come alone. The mirror pool is a well known landmark, a still, sacred body of water at the edge of the city that reflects the stars even in daylight. Locals say it's a place of omens, dreams, and forgotten gods. Would you like to ask around about the mirror pool or who Kay might be? Go shopping or prepare before sundown? Ignore the message and do something else? Do something unexpected? What does Simon do next?
Hmm. Simon will put the letter in his pouch. Has Simon benefited from a long rest recently?
Yes, Simon benefited from a long rest the night before. After his match with Lady Kaelin and receiving the mysterious token, he returned to the Rose and Raven Inn, celebrated and rested. That means all HP restored, all spell slots recovered, action surge, second wind, and other features reset. No lingering conditions. Simon wakes feeling physically restored, though the presence of the letter and the token leaves a spiritual weight hanging over the day. Ready to prepare for sundown? Or is there anything you'd like to do in the meantime?
First off, let me take a long rest here. And let me see what my weapons and armor is. Light crossbow, hunting rifle, scimitar, Okay. What was that temple that it mentioned? Temple of the Six Flames. After breakfast, Simon will go visit the Temple of the Six Flames.
Temple of the Six Flames, late morning. After a quiet breakfast downstairs, eggs, black bread, and bitter tea, Simon sets out into the city. The streets are lively with festival energy. Banners flutter, musicians warm up their lutes and flutes, and vendors hawk everything from fried pastries to enchanted baubles. But your path veers away from the noise. Soon, you reach the Temple of the Six Flames, an ancient structure perched on a hill of blackened stone. Six massive braziers line its marble steps, each burning a different color: red, blue, green, silver, gold, and violet. A sacred fire to each of the six ancient patrons of balance: light, shadow, flame, stone, sky, and flesh. The doors are open. A soft choral hum echoes from within. Inside the temple, the interior is circular and domed, with an oculus letting in sunlight that refracts through colored crystal, casting shifting patterns across the floor. Six altars stand in a ring, each with its own elemental symbol. A priest in silver gray robes approaches. They are androgynous, with sharp, angular features and glowing silver eyes, clearly touched by some divine magic. Welcome, Champion say, their voice soft and resonant. The flames whisper of you. You carry something older than the fire, something watching you. What do you seek here? Would you like to ask about the three eyed raven symbol or the token? Ask about Valherin? Ask for a blessing or divination? Offer something at one of the six altars? Do something else? What does Simon do?
Simon says, do you know of an entity that goes by the name Baharan?
The priest's silver eyes flicker like candlelight at the mention of the name. They inhale slowly, as if breathing in something sharp, and respond, Valharin, that name has not been spoken in this place in 100 years. They glance around the temple before continuing in a quieter tone. Valharin is not a god, but a power, a forgotten one, the seventh flame. They gesture toward the altars where only six flames burn. There was once a seventh altar here. It burned with black fire, unseen but warm to the touch. The others claimed it disrupted balance. They extinguished it. Valharin is the flame that chooses its bearer, not born of worship, but of will. They fix their gaze on you now. If Valharin has heard your call, you are either blessed or cursed, perhaps both. Would Simon like to ask about the seventh flame's powers or purpose? Reveal the token or share the letter? Ask for guidance or a blessing? Leave and head elsewhere or something else?
What is no? Tell me more about the seventh flame, and then show them the token to see if they recognize it.
The priest walks slowly toward the place where a seventh altar might have once stood, between the green and gold flames, where there is now only empty stone. They place a hand upon the cold marble floor. The seventh flame was not tied to an element, but to memory. It was said to burn in the forgotten spaces of the world, old dreams, broken oaths, names no longer spoken. Valharen's fire reveals what others bury. It brings justice, but not mercy, truth, but not comfort. They pause. When the flame chose a bearer, it did not ask for obedience, only conviction. And when the other flames turned against it, the seventh vanished, or so we believed. You reveal the token. The priest's eyes widen when they see the three-eyed raven symbol, the silver surface catching the flicker of the temple fires. They reach toward it with trembling fingers, but stop just short of touching it. This is a key, or perhaps a brand. The raven was Valharen's last symbol, seen in the skies the night the temple betrayed him. They said it watched from above, three eyes unblinking, as the flames were turned against their kin. They stepped back, voice hushed. You have been marked, Simon. Whatever your path, you cannot walk it without consequence now. Would you like to ask the priest for help unlocking the token's power? Seek protection or a ward against Valharen? Offer something at the spot where the seventh flame once burned? Leave the temple and prepare for sundown? Or something else?
I want to leave an offering where the seventh flame once burned, but I don't have a good idea of what to offer.
That's a powerful instinct, leaving an offering at a forgotten altar where a god of memory and conviction once burned. The priest watches you with a solemn expression, then offers quietly. The seventh flame does not hunger for gold or blood. It asks for something personal, a truth, a regret, a vow. It burns best when the offering is real. Here are some offering ideas that might resonate with Valharen: a weapon or token from a past kill, something from a fight you regret, a reminder of a moment you can't take back, a written vow. Scrawl a promise or confession on parchment, burn it, or leave it at the altar. This could be a vow of vengeance, a truth you've never spoken, a promise to never forget someone, something that meant something to you. Do you have an object from your childhood? A family token? A trinket from a comrade or past life? Sacrificing it could mean something. A drop of blood, a symbolic wound. Not for power, but as proof you're willing to bleed for your convictions. A memory. Kneel. Speak aloud a memory you wish to preserve or to bury. Let the flame, unseen though it is, take it from you. If you tell me more about Simon's past or something he holds on to emotionally, I can suggest a tailored offering too. Otherwise, which one of these feels right?
Simon will cut his palm with his dagger and offer drops of blood on where the flame used to stand.
The offering of blood to the forgotten flame. You step forward to the empty space between the green and gold altars, the wound in the circle where no flame burns. Kneeling slowly, you draw your dagger. There's no ceremony, no chant, just the whisper of steel against skin as you slice your palm and let the blood drip onto the cold stone. The crimson droplets land with soft taps, too few to matter in a world like this. But then the air changes. Something watches. A faint warmth stirs against your skin. You feel it in your bones first, like coals just beneath flesh. Then the stone shimmers faintly with color. Not red, but black edged in gold, like an eclipse caught in motion. The priest gasps behind you. The flame? It remembers you. Your cut begins to close on its own, not healed, but sealed, like the wound itself was accepted. For a moment, you see an image flicker across the stone. A warrior in blackened armor, three-eyed raven perched on his shoulder, standing atop a mountain of ash. No words, just purpose. Then the image vanishes, and the stone is cold again. Simon has gained the boon of the seventh ember dormant. Something ancient has noticed you. When you act with true conviction, standing for your personal truth against all odds, you may reroll one failed saving throw or attack roll once per long rest. Power will grow with further devotion or sacrifice. The priest bows their head. You are chosen now, Simon. Walk carefully. The flame has not finished with you. The sun has begun to slide westward, sundown nears. Will you head to the mirror pool to meet the one who sent the letter? Or do anything else first?
It's late enough. Simon will head out to the mirror pool.
The mirror pool, sundown. As the sun dips behind the jagged rooftops of Veralian, the city shifts. Shadows stretch long. The laughter of the festival fades behind you, replaced by the soft hush of wind and water. You follow a narrow stone path through a quiet grove until you reach it. The mirror pool, still as glass, roughly 30 feet across, ringed by weeping willows and lanterns that haven't been lit in years. Even with the last rays of sunlight bleeding across the sky, The water reflects stars, not the ones overhead, but a sky that belongs to another night entirely. A single figure stands at the edge of the water, cloaked in black with a raven feather mantle, a silver mask hiding their face. They hold a thin walking stick that's more for ritual than support. They turn slightly as you approach. You came. The voice is feminine, calm, low, knowing. That means you felt it, the weight, the hunger, the choice. She lifts the stick and traces a line across the water's surface, yet it doesn't ripple. I am Kalara, last of the Flame's whisperers. I called you here not to warn you, but to see if you are ready. She turns fully now, staring through the silver mask. Will you hear what Valherin offers you? Not as a god, but as an ally? Simon has a choice. Yes, I want to hear what Valherin offers. No, I don't serve forgotten flames or silent gods. First, I want answers. Who are you really? Or something else entirely? What does Simon do?
Okay, Laura. I ask, okay, Laura, who she really is, and if she serves Valharan.
Kalara lowers her head slightly as if amused, or perhaps impressed by your caution. Good. Questions before loyalty. That's how it should be. She steps to the water's edge again, staring down at the strange stars reflected there. When she speaks, her voice is more personal. I was once a priestess of the Six Flames, a keeper of balance, but I found their idea of balance was built on silence, burying truth, banishing memory, burning away anything they feared. She reaches up, removes her silver mask. Underneath, her face is marked with burn scars, not fresh but long healed, clawing across her cheek and jaw like fire had tried to erase her. One of her eyes is pale, blinded. When I questioned them, they tried to make me forget. Valherin found me instead. She turns toward you fully now, no mask between you. I do not serve him. I remember him. I speak his name when no one else will. He is not a god. He is a flame that was never meant to die. And now he seeks a champion, not to rule, but to ignite. She taps her walking stick against the stone. He has chosen you, Simon, not because you are pure, because you are willing to burn. She lets that hang in the air for a moment, then quieter. Will you listen to what he offers? Will Simon hear Valherin's offer now, or does he press for more?
Simon will hear Valharan's offer now.
Kalara nods once, solemn, like a priest at the altar of something holy and terrible. She kneels at the edge of the mirror pool and places her palm on the surface. The water shimmers like oil, the reflection of stars deepening into a bottomless black sky. Then she whispers, Valherin, he is ready to speak. She gestures for you to step forward and look into the pool. Simon gazes into the mirror pool. As you lean forward, the world around you vanishes. The city, the pool, the trees, gone. You are suspended in a starless void, standing atop nothing but whispers and memory. Before you stands a figure wrought from darkness and embers. His armor is scorched black, his face hidden behind a helm shaped like a raven's skull. Three eyes burn across the helm, red, gold, and deep violet. He does not speak with a voice, he speaks with flame and truth. You called my name, you bled for memory. You stand without fear at the edge of the old fire. He raises a blackened gauntlet. Within it is a small flicker of flame, familiar, like the one that closed your wound. I do not demand worship. I demand conviction. Bear me, and you will see through lies, ignite cowardice, and carve truth from shadow. Deny me, and I will sleep again until another dares. The flame rises from his palm, floating between you. Take my ember and become the blade of memory. But know this, once lit, the flame cannot be hidden. The choice: do you take the ember, accepting Valheren's mark and power? Refuse, keeping your own path, free of forgotten gods? Ask him a question first. What does Simon do?
And if I don't take the ember, what will happen to me then?
The burning figure before you stands silent for a moment. Then the three eyes, red, gold, and violet, narrow not in anger, but in understanding. The voice that follows is softer, but no less powerful. Then you will go on, as you are. A sword in the dark. You will win. You will bleed. You will forget. He lowers the ember slightly in his hand. You will fight battles that leave no mark on the world. You will carry weight with no flame to burn it clean. A pulse of cold surges through the void, a glimpse of your life untouched by him. Endless duels beneath painted banners, enemies slain, forgotten by morning, victories hollowed by silence, a name remembered only until the next blade is raised. Then the warmth returns. I offer no safety, Simon. Only meaning, only memory. The ember floats once more between you, unjudging, but waiting. What does Simon choose?
Simon will grab the ember and look at it closely.
Simon takes the ember. As your fingers close around it, the ember doesn't burn. It thrums like a heartbeat made of flame. It's warm, not in the way of fire, but in the way of a memory long buried and suddenly remembered. When you look closer, it isn't a flame at all. It's a fragment of something ancient, a molten shard of a shattered crown, a dying star bound in glass, a name, not yours, waiting to be spoken again. The ember pulses once more, and then sinks into your palm. There is no pain, only heat, truth, fire. A sigil etches itself across your skin, just above the lifeline on your hand, the three eyed raven, framed by a ring of flame. The glow fades, but the mark remains. Valheren speaks one final time. You are no longer a sword. You are the fire that remembers why it must be drawn. Simon has accepted the Ember of Valheren. New feature, Ember of Memory, awakened. Once per long rest, when you strike a killing blow or succeed on a saving throw against a charm, illusion, or mind altering effect, you can invoke the Ember of Memory. When you do, you immediately regain one expended spell slot of the highest level you've cast that day, and all enemies within 10 feet must succeed on a wisdom saving throw, DC 13 plus your intelligence mod, or become frightened of you until the end of your next turn. The flame remembers. You blink, and the stars are gone. You're kneeling again at the edge of the mirror pool. Kalara is watching you, her breath caught in her throat. So it's true. He's awake. She looks at you, not with fear but awe. What will you do now, Simon? And more importantly, what can stop you now? What's next?
Let's get this Ember of memory over on the character sheet. So, Kalara, what would you suggest I do now? It's a bit late for sword practice, and I need to eat.
Kalara lets out a soft laugh, dry but not unkind. Even a bearer of ancient flame needs a good meal. She stands slowly, brushing imaginary dust from her raven feather mantle. Tonight, rest, eat, walk the city. Let them see you not as a man, but as something becoming more. She gazes out across the pool. Valheron's flame doesn't demand your obedience, but it will test your resolve. It won't be in temples or battlefields. It will come when you least expect it. In a lie too convenient to expose. In a fight you could walk away from. In a memory someone begs you to forget. She looks back to you, eyes sharp. You are the fire now, Simon. What you burn and what you leave behind will define the world around you. She begins to walk away, fading into the shadows of the willows. Come find me when you're ready to burn brighter. You'll know where to look. You're left alone by the mirror pool. The stars in the water now match the ones above. Your hand still tingles. Would you like to head back into the city for food? I can describe a tavern or eatery. Return to the Rose and Raven Inn? Do something else before sleep. What's next for Simon?
Simon will return to the Rose and Raven Inn for dinner. How much for a dinner plate and a glass of wine?
The Rose and Raven Inn. By the time Simon returns, the lanterns are lit and casting golden pools of light across the inn's polished wood floors. The air is thick with the scent of roasted meats, sweet onions, and buttered root vegetables. A bard plays a quiet, lilting tune in the corner, something just slow enough to make people linger. The innkeeper Marza greets you with a nod as you take your usual seat by the hearth. Back in one piece, I see. Hungry? She slides a small chalkboard menu your way. Tonight's plate special: roasted duck breast with honey thyme glaze, turnip mash with browned garlic, fresh bread with herb butter, cost 7 silver pieces. Wine options: house red, bold, local, kind of a punch to the throat, imported silver wine, smooth dry from the north, 1 GP. Would Simon go with the house wine or the imported stuff? And pay now or run a tab?
Simon will have the duck and the house wine for a total of 10 silver pieces. One gold piece is worth 10 silver pieces. Okay.
Excellent choice. Marza gives you a quick wink and disappears behind the bar. Within moments, a steaming plate is set before you, crispy skinned duck glazed with honey and thyme, resting beside a smooth heap of garlic turnip mash, and bread still warm from the oven. The house red is poured into a thick glass, bold, sharp, a little unruly, kind of like you. Eat up, champion, Marza says with a smirk. Tomorrow's a new blade. You pass over 10 silver pieces, and the weight of the day starts to ease with the first bite. Outside, the festival sounds continue: laughter, firecrackers, distant music. But here, in the glow of the hearth and wine, you're still marked, changed, watching the world with new eyes. Would you like to head up to your room and rest for the night? Strike up a conversation with someone in the inn? Reflect on something? Or do anything else? Your call, Simon.
I'd like to start up a conversation with another patron of the inn.
Rose and Raven common room, candlelight conversations. You take a slow sip of wine and glance around the room. The crowd tonight is a mixed bunch: mercenaries in half polished armor, traveling merchants with tired eyes, and a few cloaked loners nursing secrets with their ale. But one figure stands out: the stranger at the far table. He's not flashy, but distinct. Broad shouldered, olive skin, a mop of black curls falling over one eye. He wears a cloak that's seen some travel and a finely made rapier at his hip. A violin case rests beside him. He's not drinking, he's watching. Not in a predatory way, more like someone who's seen too much to stop seeing. When your eyes meet, he raises his brows just slightly, then gestures to the open seat across from him. You move like someone who's just made a choice they can't undo. His voice is soft, accented from the southern coast. That's not judgment, just recognition. He pushes a small tin of tobacco toward you, doesn't light anything, just offers. Name's Tavern, sells word, musician, X something or other. What's yours? Would you like to sit and talk with Tavern? Ask him what he means by a choice that can't be undone? Keep things vague and feel him out first? Ignore him and approach someone else? How does Simon want to play this?
Simon will take the tobacco tin and thumb his pipe with the leaves. So, so you sound like you're not from around here. What did you mean by a choice that can't be undone?
Tavern watches you pack your pipe with a faint smile, like he's relieved you're the kind of man who knows the value of a slow ritual. He leans back in his chair, hands folded in front of him. I meant exactly what it sounds like. He nods toward your marked hand, though you never showed it. You touched something older than this city, maybe older than the gods, and it touched you back. That kind of thing leaves more than a scar. He reaches into his cloak and pulls out a thin, curved object, an old bronze pendant, tarnished nearly black. The design is indecipherable, but there's an unnatural hum to it. I wore this for 5 years, thought it gave me clarity, strength. It did, until the day it asked for something back. He rolls it between his fingers. You know how many people you'll have to let down now just to stay true to whatever this flame of yours is? His eyes meet yours, sharp and almost kind. I don't say this to scare you, Simon. I say it so you know you're not alone. A silence passes. Then he offers quieter. If you ever need help with the voices that don't stop when you're sober, or the memories that burn brighter than dreams, you come find me. I'll show you how to hold on to yourself. He doesn't ask anything of you, just sits, waiting for your next word, pipe smoke curling between you. What does Simon say in response? Or would he like to ask Tavern something in return?
Do you think I'm in trouble now or blessed?
Tavern exhales through his nose, half a laugh, half a sigh. Trouble and blessing aren't so different, are they? He taps ash from an old stub of a cigarette he never lit. I've seen zealots call themselves blessed while they burned villages to the ground. I've seen cursed folk drag themselves through hell to save someone they loved. He eyes you seriously now. The difference is what you do with the fire, not who lit it. He pauses, then smiles crookedly. But yes, you're trouble now, the kind of trouble people either follow or fear, maybe both. He finishes his tea, cold by now, and pushes back from the table. You ever need someone who understands that? I'm usually 3 steps behind the music, but I don't miss the beat. He nods once, respectful, then heads toward the stairs. The common room returns to its quiet hum, your pipe still glows, and your hand? Still warm with the echo of something that remembers your name. Would Simon like to do anything else tonight? Or call it a night and rest before the next day's challenge?
Simon calls it a night to get ready for tomorrow's matches.
The Rose and Raven Inn, midnight. Simon rises from the hearth, pipe ember fading as he makes his way up the creaking staircase. The hall is quiet now, just the distant hush of festival revelry still echoing from the lower districts of the city. Inside your room, the silver token rests on the nightstand. The mark on your palm no longer glows, but it aches faintly, like a secret waiting to be spoken aloud. You lie down, and as your eyes close, you feel the silence press in, not oppressive, but expectant, watching, waiting. Long rest begins. Simon benefits from a full rest. All HP restored, spell slots regained, features, action surge, second wind, etc. recharged, Ember of Memory resets and awaits its next spark. Tomorrow, the blade calls again. You've earned the right to wield more than steel now, and the flame remembers. Let me know when you're ready to begin. Festival of the Blades, Episode 5.
Con- Continue with episode 4. Is that right? Episode 4. Until I tell you I'm through for the day. I want to continue playing for now.
Absolutely. Let's keep the fire burning. Festival Day, morning of the next match. The sun rises over Verelion with a sky painted in rose and gold. Church bells toll, signaling the second day of eliminations in the Festival of the Blades. The streets are already alive. Merchants barking from their stalls, duelists stretching in alleyways, scribes shouting odds and matchups. You descend into the inn's main hall to find a small scroll left at your breakfast table. Sealed with the sigil of the Tournament Council, it reads, Simon, son of fire and steel, your next match has been drawn. You are to report to Arena 2 by the third bell. Your opponent, Sir Caldus Vane, the Pale Blade of Duskwatch. Bring your weapon. Leave your doubt. Sir Caldus Vane, you've heard of him, an albino duelist from the Western Marches, known for his emotionless style and a blade rumored to have once belonged to a death priest. He's undefeated, and he never speaks. They say his sword sings, but not in music, in memory. He lets his opponents remember their worst moments before he strikes. You have a few hours before the third bell. Here are your current options. What would you like to do? Visit a shop, potions, gear upgrades, info broker, spar lightly at a practice yard, seek info about Sir Caldus's fighting style, return to the Temple of the Six Flames, prepare spells, change loadout, or reflect. Eat something hearty to prep for the match. Something else? What's your next move, Simon?
Okay, what did it say? Visit a shop, spar lightly, seek info about car. I have to take a look into Cardus's fighting style. Take a look at Cardus's fighting style.
Seeking intel on Sir Caldus Vane. You leave the Rose and Raven and head toward the Scribe's Perch, a tented pavilion near the main square where old duelists, bookmakers, and gossip mongers trade stories and info, sometimes for coin, sometimes for curiosity. You approach an old elf named Telrin the Thin, a retired swordmaster who records fighter stats and sips wine like it's a divine right. He eyes you over a set of cracked spectacles. Simon, tiefling with the fire in his step. I heard your blade sang loud yesterday. He taps his ink stained fingers together. You're facing Vane, aren't you? You nod. He whistles low. Then listen well, because your opponent doesn't waste time. Sir Caldus Vane, the Pale Blade, fighting style overview. A motionless, reactive duelist. Fights defensively until he sees an opening, then strikes with surgical precision. Wields a longsword of unusual material, bone white, light as a dagger, yet hits like steel. His blade is rumored to be enchanted with memory magic. When it cuts, it triggers flashes of the past in the victim's mind, distracting or disorienting them mid fight. Tactics: keeps a low stance and rarely attacks first, known to parry aggressively and punish overcommits. Disarms those who rely too heavily on flourishes or flashy moves. Has never been known to cast magic, but his blade might. Weaknesses: not good at handling unpredictability, has trouble when faced with unorthodox or chaotic tactics, vulnerable to ranged attacks early in combat. Telrin finishes with a sip of wine. He doesn't care about glory or blood, he just wants the duel to end clean. He smirks. So don't give him clean, give him hell. Would you like to adjust your tactics or spell selection based on this info? Seek a potion or trick item to gain an edge? Visit the arena early to scout the space? Do anything else before the match? What's your next move, Simon?
Hmm. I don't really know what to do right now. I'd simply adjust the tactics based on this information. Is there anything I could buy from an armorer or an apothecary that would help in this upcoming battle?
Tactical adjustments for facing Sir Caldus Vane, based on what we now know. Caldus is surgical, reactive, and methodical. Here are a few tactical shifts Simon can consider. Tactical shift suggestions. 1. Lead with unpredictability. Use feints, disarming attacks, or spells that obscure or mislead. Mix ranged cantrips or weapon throws with melee. Force him to shift styles. 2. Hit fast, hit first. Open with surprise aggression to knock him off his defensive rhythm. If you have Booming Blade or Shield, prepare to use them reactively. #3. Avoid predictable patterns. Alternate your rhythm and movement to avoid parries. Consider maneuvers like riposte, feinting attack, or disarming attack if you've chosen Battle Master or similar abilities. Shopping options before the match. You could stop at a vendor in the bazaar or alchemist's tent before the third bell. Here's a quick list of affordable, match legal options you might find. From the Armorer, weighted throwing knife, 15 GP. On hit, may force target to stumble back 5 feet unless they succeed on a DC 13 STR save. Smoke Pellet, 10 GP. Throw as a bonus action to create a 10 feet cloud of smoke. Disadvantage on attacks through it for 1 round. Wrist Shield Device, 25 GP, plus 1 AC for 1 round as a reaction. One-time use. From the Apothecary, Potion of Speed Root, 50p. Gain advantage on initiative rolls and plus 10 feet movement speed for 1 minute. Ghost Petal Draught, 40 GP. Until the start of your next turn, your movement doesn't provoke opportunity attacks. Focus Elixir, 25 GP. Once within the next hour, reroll a failed concentration check or wisdom saving throw. All prices adjusted for festival fairness. Only 1 potion may be consumed before a match. Simon currently has 100 GP from his previous victory, unless spent elsewhere. Would you like to buy anything from this list? Or head to the arena and prepare for the duel?
Simon will get a smoke pellet and a potion of speed root. $60 gold. Okay. Simon will hold off drinking the potion until right as the match starts. He waits to be called for his match.
Arena 2, moments before the duel. The crowd is quieter here, not hushed, but reverent. Arena 2 is an open ring of stone under a domed roof with arched windows that let golden afternoon light pour across the sand. It's smaller than the main arena, reserved for matches of precision, not spectacle. A clerk in tournament livery approaches, voice crisp. Simon of the Ember, your time has come. Step into the circle when ready. You step forward. The crowd parts. Your opponent, Sir Caldus Vane. Already standing in the circle is a tall, pale man with long white hair bound in silver rings. His eyes are pure gray, like smoke locked in ice. His armor is fitted leather, bone white, with no ornamentation. His blade? A long sword as pale as moonlight, almost translucent. It hums faintly, like a tuning fork struck in memory. Caldus does not speak. He simply raises his blade in a classic duelist salute. The crowd falls silent. A judge raises a hand. Combatants, on my signal. This is an honor duel. No killing blows. Victory by surrender, unconsciousness, or disarmament. Begin on 3. You grip your weapon. The world narrows. 1, 2, 3. Begin. Would you like to drink the potion of speed root immediately? Make the first move and attack? Use your smoke pellet to obscure him early? Hold position and try to bait him into striking first. How does Simon begin the duel?
Simon wants to drink the potion of speed root now and prepare his crossbow to shoot my opponent. Hits. Simon will feint the shot and reposition. Simon will feint the shot and reposition himself to get a clear shot at his opponent.
Fight and flow, throwing off the pale blade. Simon raises the crossbow like he's going to fire directly at Caldus's chest. Tension builds in the crowd, and even Caldus's stance shifts subtly, preparing to deflect or sidestep the shot. But you don't shoot. Instead, you snap to the left, using the speed root enhanced momentum to sprint 10 feet at an angle, boots skimming over the dust of the arena floor. Caldus's blade follows your movement, but now you see it. A slight lag, a pause in his reaction. His defense relies on precision, but when rhythm is broken, he has to recalibrate. You pivot to a new position with a clean sightline. Do you fire now? Fire the crossbow now, with no disadvantage and the chance to catch him off guard? Hold the shot and see what he does? Use a bonus action for something else, if applicable? Then fire? Let me know if you want to roll to hit or describe your shot.
Simon will roll to attack Caldus with the crossbow. Simon rolled an 11.
You fire. Thwip. The bolt cuts across the arena with a sharp hiss of tension, aimed for the gap beneath Caldus's shoulder plate. But in a single fluid motion, he twists his blade, not to block, but to guide the bolt just an inch off course. The crowd murmurs, impressed. The bolt skitters off the sand behind him, harmless. Caldus doesn't smirk, doesn't speak. He moves, a silent blur, closing the distance with chilling grace. You see his blade hum faintly, as if stirring old memories. He strikes. Caldus's turn, melee strike, rolling his attack against Simon with his pale longsword. Rolling behind the screen, the sword slashes low, aimed at your side. Not lethal, but deliberate. Caldus rolls a 16 to hit. What is Simon's AC right now? Let me know so we can resolve damage or determine if he narrowly dodged.
Simon's AC is a 15, right? That
Hit, Caldus's blade whispers through the air, not with speed, but with eerie precision. You try to pivot, but he anticipates your step. The pale longsword bites into your side just beneath the ribs. It's not deep. Honor match rules apply, but it hurts. You feel a strange echo ripple through you. Not just pain, but a flash of memory, a past failure, a face you couldn't save, a name you rarely speak. The blade doesn't just cut flesh, it cuts through time. Just for a second. Damage. Caldus deals 7 slashing damage to Simon. You're still fully in the fight, but it's clear he doesn't waste a single motion. He resets his stance, perfectly balanced, eyes unreadable. It's your move, Simon. You've repositioned, he's made his first strike. You still have speed route active, advantage on initiative checks, plus 10 feet movement for 9 more rounds, smoke pellet available. Any spells, features, or actions you want to take. What does Simon do?
Simon will attack once with each of his scimitars.
Hell yes. Let's dance. Simon drops the crossbow, drawing both scimitars in a blur of steel and firelight. The crowd stirs. The tiefling's tempo just changed. You lunge at Caldus, blades flashing in a twin arc. Go ahead and roll 2 attack rolls, one for each scimitar strike. Let me know the total for each, including your proficiency and dexterity modifiers. If either is a natural 20, then. If you're using any fighting style features like 2-weapon fighting or Eldritch Knight enhancements, I'll narrate the results and Caldus's reaction once you've got the numbers.
Let me check something here. Okay. Scimitar 1, 19. The first scimitar attack rolls a 19. The second attack rolls a non-natural 20.
Double hit. Both attacks hit. You rush Caldus like a storm, your twin blades slicing through the silence he holds like a shield. His sword rises to intercept the first strike, but you're already past it. One blade slashes low across his thigh, the other rakes up along his ribs with perfect timing. For the first time, he staggers back a step. No gasp from the crowd, just awe. The pale blade has been touched by steel. Roll for damage. Please roll damage for each scimitar strike. Minus 1d6 plus your dexterity modifier for the main hand, 1d6, or 1d6 plus dex if you have 2-weapon fighting style or the fighting initiate feat. Once I have those, I'll tell you how badly you've shaken him and how he responds.
The first attack does 4 points of damage. Second attack does 7 points of damage.
Total damage 11 points. Your blades carve cleanly, first across Caldus's thigh, slicing the tight leather armor, then a heavier slash along his ribs, forcing a low grunt from his chest. He doesn't bleed much, but it's enough. For the first time this match, his poise falters, just slightly. His stance widens, not out of discipline, but to recover. The crowd feels it, a ripple of tension. You see it in his eyes, recognition. Not anger, not fear. Respect, Caldus's turn. He doesn't back away. Instead, he steps into your guard, turning his blade sideways to attempt a disarm maneuver, trying to knock your offhand scimitar from your grip. Rolling. Caldus rolls a 17. Simon must make a strength saving throw, DC 15, to hold on to the scimitar in your offhand. Let me know your roll, and we'll see if he strips away your edge or not.
Saving throw, strength saving throw. Simon rolls a 19 saving throw.
Simon holds the line, Caldus twists and slams the flat of his blade into the crossguard of your offhand scimitar with a practiced clack. The kind of move that's ended dozens of matches before. But you don't let go. Your grip locks down, and with a surge of momentum, you push him back a step, steel grinding against steel. The crowd exhales in unison, caught off guard by the reversal. Caldus's sword lowers slightly, not in surrender, in acknowledgement. He doesn't speak, but you swear you can feel it in the air. This fight just got real. It's your turn again. You've got both scimitars, speedroot still humming in your veins, and Caldus has shown his first sign of real humanity. What does Simon do next?
Simon will cast Firebolt at Caldus. He needs to make a what do I need to roll to hit?
Oh, hell yes! We're shifting from steel to sorcery. You're an Eldritch Knight, and Firebolt is one of your cantrips. This is the perfect moment to turn the tide with a magical strike. Hash to hit with Firebolt, roll a ranged spell attack. D20's your intelligence modifier proficiency bonus. Let's assume you're level 10, so proficiency bonus plus 4 NT modifier, whatever Simon has. Let me know if it's not plus 3 or plus 4. So if your INT is plus 3, you'd roll. Saw 1d20 plus 7. Roll it and let me know the total. Let's see if you light up the pale blade.
Simon rolled a natural 1 for a total of 8.
Natural 1. The fire fizzles. You step back, scimitars glinting, and snap your fingers forward, calling on the flame that now dances somewhere deeper than your blood. Firebolt roars to life, a swirling lance of orange and gold, but at the last second, Caldus faints left, and your hand twitches. The bolt slams into the stone wall behind him, exploding in a shower of sparks. The crowd gasps, half from awe, half from the sheer missed opportunity. Caldus doesn't smirk, but he does move. Caldus's turn, riposte. He takes advantage of your extended stance, sliding in like a ghost, blade flashing upward in a clean arc. Rolling to hit, natural 17 plus 6, 3 to hit. Yup, that's a hit. Damage, Caldus slashes across your shoulder for 9 points of slashing damage. And as his blade bites, the memories return, stronger this time. Not failure, not loss, a face. a choice, something Simon buried. Just for a second, you're not in the arena anymore, but then it passes. Your feet are still beneath you. You're still in the fight. Your turn again. You've taken 16 damage total. Speed Root's still active for a few more rounds. Caldus is clearly feeling your earlier scimitar hits. What does Simon do now?
Take 16 damage. What does false life do, I wonder? Toll the Dead is a cantrip. Simon will cast Toll the Dead. Caldus needs to make a Wisdom 15. Wisdom 15 saving throw against it.
Toll the Dead, ring for the Pale One. You stare Caldus down, blood dripping from your shoulder, and raise your hand, not with flame this time, but with will. A low, hollow bell chimes through the arena. Not from above, not from anywhere. It tolls from within Caldus himself. Caldus's wisdom saving throw. Rolling. Caldus rolls a 12, fail. The sound hits him like gravity. He stumbles, just slightly, as if something inside his mind shook loose. Roll damage. Because Caldus has already taken damage, Toll the Dead deals 2d12 necrotic damage. Roll it and let me know the result. Let's see how hard that bell tolls.
2d12. It only does 5 points of damage.
Five points of necrotic damage dealt. The bell tolls low and cruel, a sound meant not to kill, but to remind. Caldus flinches, just slightly, more mental than physical. His posture tightens, lips thinning for the first time this duel. The wound from your earlier scimitar strike darkens, pulsing with necrotic energy. Even so, he remains standing, though he looks haunted. For a brief moment, his eyes flick toward the crowd, not to anyone in particular, but as if something or someone is missing. You've reached something deeper than his defenses. He takes a step back, raises his blade, and bows. Not in surrender. The judge, clearly shaken by the unexpected spell work, steps forward. Combatants, you may disengage. This duel continues until surrender, unconsciousness, or disarmament. But Caldus speaks for the first time. Then I surrender. Silence. Then a roar from the crowd. You've defeated the Pale Blade of Duskwatch. Not just with strength, but with memory, with flame, and with the toll of things better left buried. Would Simon like to say anything to Caldus before he leaves the ring? Acknowledge the crowd? Do something else as the arena clears? The moment is yours.
Acknowledge the crowd with a flourish and a bow. As I bow, I softly whispered the name Valerian.
The champion acknowledges the flame. The arena is thunderous. Cheers, shouts, rising voices chanting your name. Simon, Simon, Simon! But your movements are calm, controlled. You sheath your scimitars in one fluid motion, letting the last glint of sun catch their steel. Then, with your coat fluttering behind you and your pulse still hot from victory, you step to the center of the ring and bow deeply. The crowd erupts, but your voice is for no one but the void. As the name leaves your lips, your marked palm warms briefly beneath the glove, unseen by the crowd, but felt. A whisper, not in sound, but in sensation, echoes from deep within. And so the fire spreads. As you rise, Caldus is gone, but a small scrap of cloth lies where he stood, torn from his own sleeve, embroidered with a white raven in flight, a symbol of respect, or perhaps a warning. Victory claimed, flame remembered. Let me know when you're ready to continue the day's events, or if you'd like to bring episode 4 to a close. Either way, Simon's story has burned itself deeper into the world.
Simon will find out who his next opponent is. Also, how much money do I win from the last fight?
Winnings from the duel. As you step off the arena floor, you're met by a tournament scribe, a frazzled half elf wearing too many scrolls and not enough sleep. Impressive work, Champion Simon. You're making the betting houses nervous. He grins and hands over a small velvet pouch. Winnings from the victory over Sir Caldus Vane, 150 gold pieces, a standard payout for defeating a high-ranked opponent, includes a performance bonus for spellcasting flair and crowd impact. Simon's total gold is now previous 40 GP, added plus 150 GP, new total 190 Grimsp. Next opponent reveal. The scribe unrolls a fresh scroll and reads aloud. Your next match will be tomorrow, final slot of the quarterfinals. He clears his throat, clearly trying not to look too impressed. Your opponent, Lady Marilyn Duskthorn, the Thorn Knight of Aerothis. You've heard whispers. She's a former noble turned warlord. Fights in half plate wrapped in living briars. Carries a blackthorn spear that bleeds poison when she wills it. Known to be both ferocious and theatrical, a crowd favorite and a brutal tactician. The scribe rolls up the scroll. Best rest up, sir. Thorn Knight don't pull her strikes. Would Simon like to begin preparing for the next fight now? Spend any of his winnings? Rest or gather more info? Do something else before the day ends? Let me know how you'd like to proceed.
So I get 150 gold. So I've got 314 pieces of gold. Due to money from previous matches. Simon's gold is, what did I say? 214. Simon set off to find a vendor who sells magical weapons.
Got it. Simon has 314 gold pieces on hand and is looking for magical weapon vendors. Arksteel Row, Verilian's Enchanted Market. You make your way to Arksteel Row, a cobblestone street shaded by canvas awnings and glowing mage lanterns. Here, the city's best smiths and enchanters peddle their arcane wares. The scent of metal, ozone, and dragon oil lingers in the air. Eventually, you find a small vendor stall beneath a banner that reads, Tarn's Tacticals, Enchantments for the Discerning Murderer. The shopkeeper, a dwarf with one eye made of polished obsidian, greets you with a grin. Ah, the flame slinger himself. Heard your bell ring in the arena. Looking for steel with a little bite? Are we? He opens a weathered case, revealing a few modestly priced enchanted weapons. Magical weapons for sale, within your budget. 1. Scimitar of Minor Flame. Ye 300 Dream P plus 1 weapon. Once per long rest, deals plus 1d6 fire damage on a hit. Hilt is wrapped in red dragon hide, warm to the touch. Crossbow of Piercing Whispers, 250 DP, plus 1 light crossbow. When it hits, the target must make a DC 12 wisdom save or suffer disadvantage on their next attack roll. On a 3, Dagger of Returning, 150 gram P, plus 1 dagger. Returns to your hand immediately after a throw, ideal for dual wielders or backup throws. Formond of the Unseen Step, 200 P, 3 charges per day. As a bonus action, expend 1 charge to become invisible until the start of your next turn, or until you attack cast a spell. Refills 1d3 charges daily at dawn. Everything here certified and blessed by at least one out-of-work demigod. Tarn chuckles. What catches your eye, Flameborn? Would Simon like to purchase any of these? Or ask if Tarn has other wares or upgrades?
Simon will purchase the wand of the unseen step. Unseen step.
Wand of the Unseen Step. Tarn's good eye gleams as you lay the gold on the counter. A fine choice. Nothing ruins a knight's day like their target just vanishing. He wraps the wand in a soft black cloth and hands it to you with a flourish. It's sleek and dark, carved from shadowwood, with a tiny obsidian raven perched on the end like a silent witness. Wand of the Unseen Step, 200 Grimp, 3 charges per day. As a bonus action, expend 1 charge to cast invisibility on yourself. Ends if you attack or cast a spell. Duration until the start of your next turn. Recharges 1d3 charges daily at dawn. Gold remaining, 114 Grimp. Inventory updated, Wand of the Unseen Step, attunement not required. Tarn tips his head as you leave. Good luck against the Thorn Knight, and if you come back with a few more bruises, I sell potions too. You're now equipped with steel, fire, and secrets. Would Simon like to do anything else in Arksteel Row, or return to rest and prepare for tomorrow's quarterfinal match?
Simon's done enough for the evening, and he will go to rest and prepare for tomorrow's match.
The Rose and Raven Inn, night before the quarterfinal. Simon returns through the dusky streets of Verillion, the festival winding down into lantern-lit songs and drunk poets howling beneath balconies. The Wand of the Unseen Step rests comfortably at your side, a new weight, but one that feels like it belongs. Back at the inn, Marza has left a small tray of cheese, fruit, and black tea in your room, a quiet courtesy. The bed creaks softly as you sit, muscles aching, the scent of steel and smoke still on your skin. Outside, the city celebrates. Inside, you sharpen your mind. Tomorrow, Lady Marilyn Dustthorn, the Thorn Knight. Quarterfinals. Long rest begins. All hit points restored, spell slots and features refreshed, potion effects cleared, speed root and wand charges reset. You are at full strength. As sleep takes you, the fire in your palm pulses once, just once, and fades. But even in dreams, the flame remembers. End of episode 4, The Ember in the Arena. Let me know when you're ready to begin episode 5, Thorns in Memory.
Thanks, that was a great job. I'll be back in a while to continue with episode 5. All right.
You're very welcome. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Simon is becoming a true force to reckon with, and episode 5 is waiting with thorns, mystery, and probably some blood. Whenever you're ready to dive back in, the arena will be waiting. Catch you soon, champion.
All right, that's going to do it for today. I'd like to thank everybody for watching. If you could, hit the like button or subscribe. If you subscribe, you'll get notified whenever I do these one-off shots or solo GPT stuff. We should be playing Curse of Strahd next Monday, hopefully. But if not, we can probably play Festival of the Blades again. So thanks again for watching. Hope everybody has a great day. See you later. Bye.